Have you ever felt like you've gone too far? Like you've made a mistake so big there's no coming back? Today, we're going to explore one of the most powerful stories ever told, a story about a love that never, ever gives up. It's the story of the prodigal son. Imagine a home nestled near wide open fields. Sheep graze peacefully, and golden wheat sways in the breeze. In this home lives a father with his two sons. The father is a picture of kindness and dedication, working from sunrise to sunset, pouring his heart into his family and his land. The older son is the reliable one. He's steady, responsible, and always does what's expected, staying close to home and helping in the fields. But the younger son, he's different. His spirit is restless, his mind filled with curiosity about the world beyond the familiar hills. He often finds himself at the edge of the property, staring down the long road, dreaming of distant cities, bright lights, and what he imagines as true freedom. One day, that longing turns into a shocking request. The younger son approaches his father, his voice filled with a bold impatience. "Father," he says, "give me my share of the inheritance." Now, we have to understand how radical this was. In that culture, an inheritance was given only after a father had passed away. By asking for it early, the son was essentially saying, "Your stuff is more important to me than you are. I wish you were gone." The older brother, standing nearby, is completely stunned. How could he say such a thing? The whole household holds its breath, waiting for the father's reaction. But the father doesn't shout. He doesn't lecture or get angry. Instead, he does something utterly unexpected. He quietly divides his property and gives the younger son his share. He offers no punishment, no guilt trip, just love and the freedom to choose. It doesn't take long for the younger son to pack his bags. With his pockets jingling with coins and his mind buzzing with dreams of adventure, he leaves home. He doesn't say a proper goodbye or hug anyone. He just walks away, down that long road toward a distant country he believes holds the key to happiness. And at first, it seems like he was right. Life is a whirlwind of excitement. He buys the finest clothes, throws lavish parties, and makes friends with everyone who wants a piece of his fortune. He eats rich food, stays up all night, and lives without a single rule. Money flows freely, smiles come easily, and the freedom he craved feels incredibly sweet. He's living the life he always dreamed of. But as we all know, a party funded by a finite amount of money can't last forever. Little by little, day by day, his inheritance dwindles. He spends everything he has on fleeting pleasures. And just as his pockets become completely empty, a severe famine strikes the land. Suddenly, food is scarce, and jobs are impossible to find. His so-called friends, who were so happy to celebrate with him, vanish now that he has nothing left to offer. The young man finds himself hungry, ashamed, and utterly alone. The only work he can find is the most degrading job imaginable for a Jewish man, feeding pigs. He sinks so low that he's starving, watching the pigs eat their slop and thinking how good even that looks. He has hit rock bottom. He has lost everything. It's in this moment of total desperation, sitting in the dirt and filth of a pigsty, that he finally comes to his senses. His mind drifts back to his home. He remembers his father's gentle spirit. He remembers the smell of warm bread, the abundance of food on the table, the feeling of being safe and cared for. A painful realization hits him. He whispers to himself, "Even my father's hired servants have more than enough food to eat, and here I am, starving to death." Tears well up in his eyes as the weight of his foolishness crashes down on him. But in that despair, a flicker of hope ignites. He makes a decision. "I will get up and go back to my father. I'll say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Just make me like one of your hired servants.'" It wasn't a plan to reclaim his status. It was a humble plea for mercy. And so, with heavy but determined steps, he begins the long journey home. Now, let's shift our focus back to the father. The story tells us something incredible. While the son was still a long way off, his father saw him. This one line reveals everything. The father hadn't just moved on. Every single day, he had been watching that road, hoping, waiting, and longing for his son's return. And when he finally sees a familiar figure in the distance, thin, tattered, and broken, his heart doesn't fill with anger or resentment. It leaps with compassion and joy. The father does something a man of his stature would never do. He runs. He doesn't wait for his son to arrive and beg for forgiveness. He doesn't cross his arms and demand an apology first. He runs, closes the distance, and throws his arms around his long-lost boy. The son, overwhelmed, starts his rehearsed speech. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you." But the father barely lets him finish. He's not interested in the confession as much as he is in the son. He turns and shouts to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. And bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate." Notice what happens. The son isn't treated like a servant. He isn't put on probation. He is immediately and fully restored as a son. The robe signifies honor, the ring signifies authority, and the sandals signify he is a son, not a slave. The father declares to everyone, "For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The house, once quiet with grief, now fills with music and laughter. The lost son is finally home. But the story isn't over. The older brother is out working in the fields. As he walks toward the house, he hears the sound of music and dancing. Confused, he asks a servant what's going on. When he learns that his runaway brother is back, and their father is throwing a huge party for him, his heart fills not with joy, but with bitter anger. He refuses to go inside. So the father, the same father who ran to his younger son, now comes out to plead with his older one. "Look," the older son complains, "all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours who has squandered your property comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him." The father's reply is gentle and filled with love. "My son," he says, "you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." So what does this timeless story teach us today? It's about so much more than two brothers with different flaws. The younger son's journey shows us that no matter how big our mistakes, no matter how far we wander, the path home is always open. His story is a powerful reminder that we can always turn back. The older son serves as a different kind of warning. He was physically at home, but his heart was distant. His story reminds us not to let duty, pride, or self-righteousness harden our hearts and blind us to the beauty of grace and forgiveness. He had the father's inheritance, but he missed out on the father's heart. And most importantly, the father in the story is a beautiful illustration of God's love for us. It's a love that is patient, a love that waits and watches for us. It's a love that doesn't wait for us to be perfect before welcoming us. It's a love that runs to meet us in our brokenness, ready to forgive, restore, and celebrate our return. Just like the father in the story, God is always watching the road. He waits for hearts to turn back toward him. He runs toward anyone who takes even one step in his direction. He celebrates every single soul that was lost and now is found. So no matter how far you feel you've gone, or how much time has passed, remember this story. Remember that love is waiting, love is watching, and love is always ready to welcome you home. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more content that explores faith, hope, and the incredible nature of love. See you next time.